Hello everybody and welcome to another episode. In today's episode I will show you how to properly replace and diagnose an auxiliary water pump on a common rail engine. In this episode I have this error, and this error is meaning that the auxiliary water pump or the second water pump on the car is not working anymore. So you will have to replace it. In some cases maybe the harnesses, the wiring, it's a problem, but in most of the cases it's a problem with the auxiliary water pump. This water pump is installed on almost any Volkswagen car made from the year 2008 and up, and in special it's installed on the common rail engines. It's not installed onto the pumped diesel, it's only installed onto the common rail engines. So this is the piece. It's situated right here in front of the engine next to the oil bay, and in order to remove it you'll have to remove this huge pipe, this one. You'll have a few bolts which you'll have to undo in order to have space to put your socket and wrench on the auxiliary water pump and remove it. So to remove this pipe you'll have the screw right here. After that you'll have another one right there. I'm not sure if you can see it, it's there in the corner. And after that you'll have to remove this hose in order to remove the pipe from the car. And on this car, on a Volkswagen Passat B6, you won't have access to the bolt because your tool will hit into the fence. And first you'll have to remove the fence from the car, from the radiators, and after that you'll have access to remove the hose and the clamp from the hose itself. Okay, so this is the pipe which you will have to remove. There is the bolt, and as you all can see, I don't have enough space to put my tool and remove the bolt from the pipe because I'm hitting into the fence. And to remove the fence you'll have one screw right here in the corner, you'll have another one into the other corner, and you'll also have the harnesses, you'll have the connectors which you'll have to undo because otherwise you won't be able to remove the fence from the car. And after that you'll also have two bolts on the top, one in the left side and one into the right side. So in total you'll have 4 bolts which you'll have to remove in order to remove the fence from the car. To remove the connectors from the fence you'll have to take a flat screwdriver and push the red little pin. You'll have to push it outside, and after that you'll have to pull from each connector to the exterior to disconnect them. But here I can do it with one hand. I will put the camera away and after that I will remove it. So this is with the connector removed from the fence, and this is what you have to do in order to remove the fan from the car. And after that, moving up, you'll have one bolt right here and you'll have another bolt right here under this pipe. So as I said earlier, you'll have 4 bolts in total which you'll have to remove. Okay everybody, as you all can see, I just removed the fence from the car, and now if I go under the car I'm able to remove everything from the front of the engine because I have enough space to put my tools and wrenches. This is how it's looking with the fans removed from the car, and I already removed the bolts from the pipe, from this pipe. And as you all can see here in the corner, the bolt goes right in that hole under the serpentine belt. This is the hole for the bolt, and I have another bolt right here which I removed, but I didn't remove it completely from the pipe because if I remove it completely maybe it will be very hard to put it back. But in this way I only removed it half of the way, and in this case, as you all can see, the pipe is moving, and because the pipe is moving it's creating me enough space to put my tool and remove the little screws which are holding the auxiliary water pump. As you all can see, the auxiliary water pump is holding in by 3 bolts, 3 little bolts. I think it's a Torx 10 or Torx 15, I don't remember it. But this is all you have to do. You just have to remove the connector, and after that you have to remove the 2 screws and make sure you put the correct hose onto the correct clamp when you're installing the new auxiliary water pump. And make sure you have a bottle or something to catch the fluid, because you'll have to catch the fluid because some fluid will come out from the radiators, I mean the coolant. And from here is very simple, just follow what I'm doing. So I just removed the water pump, I removed the 3 bolts, one of the bolts just broke because of the rust, but I will remove it, and before installing the new water pump I will put a new bolt if I have to. Okay, just remove the pipes. I will let you watch how I remove the pipes and how I remove everything, and from here just follow what I'm doing before installing the new water pump. So this is the coolant which I removed from the hoses and from the radiators, and this is the old water pump. And one thing I want to tell you is, when you're buying a new water pump, if you are not buying the original water pump from the Volkswagen or Audi, or depends on what manufacturer car do you have, it will not fit perfectly. Because in my case I choose to go with PIERBURG, and I recommend you to go with this pump, because in some cases, even if you are installing a new water pump, the car will not work with the water pump. It's only working with some kind of water pumps, and the PIERBURG is one of them. The PIERBURG is very good, but it will not fit perfectly onto the bracket itself. The 3 holes will not fit onto the 3 holes from the bracket. So I will show you later how to install it. I will use some zip ties and only one screw to hold it in place, but it's not a problem. It's only matter if it's falling down or not. But if you are installing it correctly and tighten the zip ties enough, it will stay there very good. So this is how I installed it. I put every hose on the correct side, and this is how it's looking. The water pump is not fitting, is not going correctly onto the holes from the bracket, so I had to install only one screw from the left down, and after that I installed 2 zip ties which is holding the water pump onto the bracket. And even in this case, the auxiliary water pump, it's holding in very good. It's not falling down, it's not moving around, so this is very good and we are good to go. Even so, the auxiliary water pump, this one, the PIERBURG one, cost me about $150 or euros, depends on where you are. But if you want to buy the original one, it's very expensive. And if you are buying it from a dealer, from a Volkswagen dealer, it will cost you over $200 a new auxiliary water pump. Okay, everything is installed. As you all can see, I will put everything back together, the fans, the hoses, and all the screws. And make sure you are installing back the coolant onto the coolant reservoir. And after that, you'll have to drive the car. You'll have to drive the car until it will reach the 19 degrees temperature. And only after that the thermostat will open, and it will let the coolant go into the radiators and the engine and into the everything. And after that you'll have to also add the rest of the coolant which you removed from the car. So just a short reminder, all the coolant which you removed earlier from the engine, you'll have to put it back into the coolant reservoir, and make sure the car is at 19 degrees. Make sure the thermostat open, and after that everything will be good. So let's check it for errors. Before removing the auxiliary water pump, I had that error which I showed you earlier on the video, and if I go down, as you can see, I have no errors. I only have some errors which are unsignificant from the radio and all the little AC buttons, something like that. Now I will go to take the car for a ride until it reach the normal temperature, and after that I will check again if everything is good, and if you don't have any errors, you're good to go. Now let's check one more time if we have any error after I took a ride with the car. And as you can see, I have nothing on the dashboard, everything is good. This is how to replace an auxiliary water pump on a common rail engine from Volkswagen. Thank you all for watching. If you liked this video and found it informative, please leave a like and a comment down below. See you next time.